What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. If you want to watch this podcast, or if you are watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you want to watch it and you're actually just listening to it, go to YouTube at Ian Edwards or Ian Soccer Comic, Rant Edwards, and you could find it there. Like and subscribe. And you can listen to it on a bunch of platforms, iTunes, Omni, allthingscomedy.com. If you go to allthingscomedy.com, let me just say that clearer. If you go to allthingscomedy.com, there's a host of comics there with a bunch of podcasts, Bill Burr, Bert Kreischer, Tom Popper, to name a few. And our sponsor is onthevalleyapparel.com. And if you go to onthevalleyapparel.com, they have tanks, tees, hoodies, and sweatshirts for men and women, and they can also outfit your local soccer team. So use my promo code ComicRant and get 20% off whatever you cop at onthevalleyapparel.com. And we have some guests, some we've seen before, some we ain't seen in a minute, and it's all comics today. We have Neil Chakravarty from San Diego, comic, Chelsea fan. We got AJ FAJI, comic.
What's good?
Even though I don't know what AJ's doing now that the pandemic is ruining his comedy, but he's an Arsenal fan.
Just watching too much Arsenal shit.
Watching a lot of Arsenal losing.
All right. I mean, I know we're out of it now. Yeah.
Oh, now you know? Wow. All right.
I mean, I'm just saying it's better than finding out later on, like y'all about to. So
this is later.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
But AJ, that's how delusional you are. You are delusional enough to just realize you're out of it now. And well, let me finish. And I'm so sane to believe that I never thought we were going to win the title. I just want a good, close run so that we know that next year we know what to get. And I already know what we need this year, and that's the good news.
I would want to hear this.
All right, so good. And I just want to introduce Mowhaaa by way of Switzerland. He's really a Barcelona fan, but he also is a comic and watches the Premier League, and we've had some good football discussions with him. And maybe Martin will join us later.
So I'm from Sweden. Sweden.
Yeah, I keep messing up the two whitest countries in the world. He's from Sweden. He's from American. The other white land. Nah, it's just I think it's a mistake I would make just regardless. Switzerland and Sweden always trips me up. You know what I mean? It just always does. It's just, but I don't mind being corrected. You know what I mean? AJ, you got any family in Europe?
Yeah. I'm Nigerian, so I have a crap ton of family in England. Like that's just natural way of things. And then And then I have a homie that lives in Sweden too. He's in Malmo. I actually was talking to Mowhaaa about that the other day. But like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I saw you at Echoes, right? Echoes.
Yeah.
So you guys been doing mics together?
Yeah, I've seen him in around.
All right, cool. That's cool. All right, dope. Yeah. So, all right, first order of business. I want to talk about the Man United versus Everton game. If you were like, I'll tell you after you guys talk. How did you feel about that game?
You said it and everybody just lit up.
Yeah, I know. I was like, they're so happy. They are so happy the way this turned out. Wow. All right, so go. Who wants to go first? Mowhaaa, you go first. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I was happy because Everton got 3 Barcelona players, Mina, Luque Digne, and Andre Gomez. But y'all played great, and for some odd reason, let's give James Rodriguez an opportunity to shine. That goal was immaculate, so beautiful, so clean. And then the last goal, I should have done better. Maybe you should have played my Swedish fellow Victor Lindelof more.
He was there. He was playing. That happened on his call. He was on duty.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought you were going to be mad because you guys drew, but then I heard your loser talk saying, "I'm okay with being number 2." That's a loser talk.
No. It's not loser talk. No,
he knows what it is.
No, it's not loser talk. Well, but I was going to hold back but let me just respond before AJ has anything to say. So I'm a realist, right? I'm a realist, and I know you guys live in California, and it's hard to find realists, motherfucker. Because I also am from New York and Jamaica, where you grow up keeping it real. Like there is no choice. It just is what it is. And since Ali came to Man United, I'm watching the team grow. And I know we're not at the level of Man City or even Liverpool yet. But I know, and I'm watching us grow to that level. And so here's what happened during the game. We scored 2. I'm like, yes, we didn't take a nap because we beat Southampton 9-0. And then Everton came back, knocked us real fast with 2. And I was like, you know what I mean? In my living room. And then we got the 3rd one. I was like, yes, Man United. And then, here's a realism kicking in. I'm like, this is still very dangerous. It's a 1-goal lead. But if we're going to prove how mature a team we are, we have to do mature things. And these are the type of games where you have to make it through to the end and maintain the lead. And we didn't, right? We didn't. And that goal at the last minute was fucking devastated. That draw felt like a loss. But it is also lets me know I was right about the season and where we're at. Like, Man City wouldn't let that goal in.
So you think me? So you think you can win because you're down by 6 points or 8 points now?
No, we're down by like 5.
They have a game in hand.
And they have a game in hand.
So it's 8, max 8. But you still have a chance of winning the league. Leicester did it with less team than other teams, You can do it.
May I ask you a question?
No, but they ain't got the heart.
Do you think we're better than Man City? Just
no.
Exactly.
No, but you know what though? Leicester wasn't better than Liverpool or Chelsea when they won.
Leicester wasn't better than Arsenal.
They actually were. They were
better than them, but they weren't better than Arsenal that year.
Yeah, but they won. My point is
one at a time.
My point is
let AJ go first. Let's hear his bullshit.
So the thing is, what it all boils down to.
Mowhaaa, you go. I had enough of AJ. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he's getting ready to swing in his chair and come out with this bullshit. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
So what it is at the end of the day is that Man U, there's no heart. Y'all have no heart. Like that killer, y'all ain't got no heart, man. Y'all ain't got that heart, dog. That killer instinct needed to win the Premier League. Everybody can see it. It's just not there. The problem is you guys,
You're right.
But the thing is, you guys have a lot of players that are talented, yes, but they're the kind of like Mesut Ozil, like I'm talented, but I play when I'm feeling cool about playing, like Pogba and them, and just in there. It's like they can ball out, but it's like it's only when everything's going my way. And then there's also the core of like you have these defenders that can they defend? It's like they're good one day, bad the next day. The Maguire is like just the biggest fridge for no reason, just blocking up the whole way. Not really gifted, but kind of a good defender. Yeah, but they still have everything needed to win the Premier League, but they don't have the heart. I think they honestly, if they had killer instinct, you could beat Man City. And Man City is kind of like they're in their stride now, but at the beginning of the year, they're kind of all over the place. All of a sudden, but all of a sudden, players that were. But you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. They have the same amount of stuff.
I like Nigerian people because they say what you've already said. You know what I mean? And then they say it like you never said it. You know what I mean?
You talked about
and then they say, I'm trying to tell you after you just already agreed with them.
But did you say about the heart, about the Play-Doh that he has as a collective in their chest?
Basically, if you listen, like we don't have the killer instinct to win the title, but that's just one more transfer window. Like next year, I'll be disappointed if we don't win. There is no reason for next year for us not to win, for us to, because like, listen, Liverpool, right? The same Liverpool team that won the title is the same Liverpool team that finished behind Man City the year before. Man City caught them, passed them, and kept the lead. You feel me? And they had to learn, oh, this is what it takes. It's like stand-up, right? You like, some nights you do good, some nights you do bad, you're inconsistent until you learn, oh, this is what it takes to be consistent. So I don't mind watching a team grow. It's even a better journey when you watch the growth and then you win the title. So, you can like look at it as a bad thing. It's like every team that's won anything, I've just watched them grow in any sports. Football, American football, basketball, like you saw Jordan and the Bulls have to lose to Detroit to beat them. They had to lose to them twice in the playoffs to beat them. So what you're saying does not hurt. It's like, fine, we'll get
what is it that you think that they need next season? Because that killer instinct doesn't just come after
growth and experience.
So
can I just respond to one thing AJ said? AJ, it's funny this coming from Arsenal fan that about you have no
exactly.
Defenders. You have no heart. I'm like, you guys have no defenders. You have no heart. I
totally agree. I totally agree. But the thing about Man U is there's this aura of feeling like there's somebody
AJ,
when they're not.
AJ, your agenda is showing above your facts. I just want you to know that.
What are you talking about? There's this aura of thinking that there's somebody where they're not. What
AJ, nobody. AJ, you're saying you just said. Yeah. Say that again. What is more than we what? Go ahead, say that.
Our what?
What did you just say?
I just said that there's this aura of feeling like they're better than they are.
Now you're talking to a Man U fan, right? Mm-hmm. And I agreed with you. So where are you getting that from?
No,
where are you getting that from?
That's from the general. That's from the pundits. That's from the general consensus of Man U. You're not the only Man U fan I know. Like half my brothers are Man U fans. This is something that isn't new.
This is some sibling shit you're dealing with. You're dealing with
Arsenal. Man U is always gonna be sibling shit.
AJ, let me respond to Ian what he said, and I agree with AJ about one thing. The killing instinct doesn't come because you get a transfer player. The only thing you were missing was a forward. Now you have Cavani.
No, but it does.
Who you missing?
We're missing a defender. Like
I don't think you're just missing one defender though.
Maybe, but we're missing two central defenders. Maybe at least one.
Go ahead. To go deep in a season, you probably need a defense. I mean, that's the saying, right? Like defense wins titles. Like Manchester City, as AJ was saying, like they were down at the beginning of the season too. But even when they were down, one thing that was like very underrated, wasn't getting a lot of limelight, was they kept having these clean sheets. Even if they were not scoring a lot of goals, they had a lot of like these dull draws. But now you see, I mean, they have their best attacking players already, right? So they're going to do what they do.
They don't even have their best attacking player.
No, but like if you compare it to the rest of the league, they have a great attacking talent. So they were always going to come good. The moment they fix their defense, now it's like you can't.
And they bought them, right? They bought a bunch of defenders, right?
They bought Ruben Diaz.
But the ones that started shining are the ones that were like Walker started shining.
Is it Ruben Diaz?
Ruben Diaz was the guy they bought.
They bought him. And his mentality, because yesterday I looked up, they said some things about it, so I started looking him up. And he came to the club with a completely different mentality. It's a Bruno Fernandes style of mentality. And if you watched the game yesterday when they made the wall for the free kick, he dragged fucking Zinchenko and while he's on the floor and placed him specifically how he wanted him. He stays after practice and he's a fucking monster. So we need that in defense. Like Virgil van Dijk changed. He was the only player missing from that Liverpool team that couldn't win.
They needed Alisson too.
And then he came and it changed everything. So that's what we
But
need.
it's not easy though. It's not an easy fix because even with Ruben Diaz, Man City went through a series of buying.
I feel you.
I
saw them spend all the money, but that's what we need.
Yeah,
and
you know,
Diaz
had to work that hard and be the hardest worker to get him minutes. They bought him to not start. They bought him as a backup of future because he's young.
He's young,
He worked his ass off to get into the team.
So listen, I've said this before. Our problem, our savior might be Ali, but our problem might be Ali because Ali bought Maguire, and if he goes to the board that he convinced to spend $80 million on a defender, and say, hey man, this guy's good, but he's not as good as we needed him to be, there is going to be problems. So at some time he's got to step up to the board because I feel like Maguire is either going to sink him or raise to the next level and save him, and we'll see. He might not. Or we just have to play by. We just have to play by, and then
let's be realistic. What kind of defenders is going to leave the top 4 teams or top 5 teams in Premier League and come to Man U? None of them. And what kind of defenders are you?
That's not. But Ruben,
you don't need somebody from the Premier League.
Ruben,
who's available?
You can get defenders, bro. We got defenders. We got arguably Leicester's best defender, like 2 years ago when we got Maguire. You know, we'll find defenders, bro.
I think one more thing I wanted to bring up about the defense is because as a Chelsea fan, we have that experience from last year where we conceded a whole bunch of goals. And I think right now, if you look at the stats, United is on course to hit that 50 goals conceded in the season number. But one difference is that when we were doing all of that, if you look at some of the underlying stats beyond just the goals conceded, Chelsea was in the top 4, top 5 best defenses on those numbers. So you could just look at it and see that all you need to do is change the keeper. I don't think it's an easy fix for United because I was looking at this. I just noted it down before the show.
I love Neil. When Neil tries to destroy you, he'll get on the computer. You are so stereotypically Indian right now. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Bring data.
Bring data.
So Chelsea was mid-table in goals conceded last season, right?
So fun.
But on expected goals conceded, we are 4th from the 4th best. Shots on target against, we are 5th. And post-shot XG against was 5th. And all of these were like very close to the leaders, Liverpool last season. Meanwhile, United this season.
Hold on a second. Is that a printed out paper?
No, it's on my.
Oh, okay.
Notes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
These are like my mic notes. Yeah.
Hey, Neil, I gotta say though, in the United's defense, I gotta say there's more goals scored by every team nowadays.
No, I'm just comparing it to last season. I don't think goals scored has significantly changed from last season.
No, not from last year. I thought you meant in general in history.
Yeah. So United this season is 12th in expected goals conceded. You guys are 8th in goals conceded. So you guys are actually, your underlying stats are even worse. It could get even worse. You're 6th in shots on target against, 8th in post-shot expected goals conceded. Are you way off the leader, Man City, this season? So it's just changing a keeper with Dean Henderson is not going to change this.
Let me ask you a question. Don't we have the most goals scored?
Yeah, you do.
So why did you leave that out?
Because I'm telling you, your defense is an issue. Your defense is an issue, but the fix is not obvious.
Defense
it's a more systemic issue.
Defense means
plus
goalkeeper.
That 9-goal game is padding that stat.
Yeah, but also a 6-goal game against us is also padding his facts.
That's true. You guys did suck earlier.
So and then listen, De Gea, I think he's done. And that's another thing I was going to bring up.
He did a big mistake that game when he batted it to the middle and they tapped it in.
Yeah, I don't blame that goal on him. Like they've been, like a lot of commentators have been blaming, like there was a and this is back when we played with Tim Howard in that Champions League game against Porto. And he saved the ball, but they say he didn't parry it wide. you know, and they blamed it on him, and he pretty much got kicked out of Man U after that. It's like if a ball is coming across, you're guarding it near, the ball is coming across, you're trained to not let it go past you, because normally somebody's going to grab it.
Right.
So it's like, I don't blame that. What I do blame on him, his approach on the last goal lets me know, oh, he shot, and then he's a shot keeper.
He's
like
in no man's land. No man's land.
How old is he now?
30s, but he's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be one of those 30-year-olds that improve like wine. I think his best days are gone.
Because he was more of like a reflex type. I don't think he's like a big goalkeeper or nothing like that. And he was more, if his reflexes are slowing down already, that's not a good.
You should buy Martin Olsen from Everton, the Swedish goalkeeper. He's really good. He's a backup for Everton. He played against
He just did a mistake on that third goal United conceded.
Yeah, but he don't play. He needs minutes. He don't play much. He's a backup.
Yeah, man. Kind of get the defense together.
We need to get. I'm just going to move on because we need to get to the. How did you guys feel about the Man City Liverpool game?
Okay, now I'll start.
Can I start? And Martin, we're going to get to some interesting stuff because AJ. You met AJ before. You never met AJ?
I don't think so.
He's an Arsenal fan, and Martin's a Spurs guy. So I just want that to simmer. I want that to simmer while you talk about Man City. So go ahead, Martin. Go ahead, Man City, Liverpool.
Man City, Liverpool. Yeah, two teams ahead of Tottenham, 3 teams ahead of Arsenal because
everybody's ahead of Tottenham.
Tottenham is ahead too. So
what are you talking about? Yeah, I think you're ahead of Sheffield. That's it.
So definitely it's a wrap in terms of title chase. I think it's a wrap. This is the end. City are winning every game, and I don't think anybody will catch them. You had a little bit of an illusion that it might be United, but we can see it's not going to happen. Liverpool, they are in a funk for a while. It's not going to happen.
Can I just stop you for a second? I don't know why you and Arsenal fans don't get along more because you guys are so alike.
Most of my friends are Arsenal fans.
You guys are so alike. Like
most
Martin,
of my friends are Arsenal
Martin
fans, actually.
has been on this podcast when I told him I don't think Manchester United is going to win the title, but he's gone back to that Arsenal sentiment.
There was a hope.
You guys have some illusion.
There was a hope.
No, there is a delusion among the Red Devil faithful that you guys think you can win.
No, there's a hope, but the hope doesn't. Nobody. No,
you have to admit you had some.
You're
hope.
telling me when y'all were number one.
But hope does not mean what you're saying. You said the delusion, or like hope is not delusion, bro.
No. It's definitely delusion. When y'all were number one, y'all were all out here talking.
I agree. You see, I agree.
AJ, your brothers were saying that to you because you're an Arsenal fan.
All y'all were saying it down to like what you call it, talking AJ, about all the Spurs and all them were talking
which
about.
Which makes perfect sense because historically United should aim at winning titles every year. That should be the goal every single year.
AJ, you know what? You know what's good about you? It's going to be easy for a therapist to heal your childhood trauma because you pretty much know where it's coming from. So that's the good. What are you going to say, Mowhaaa?
I was gonna say, I'm a Barca fan, right? We are number 2. We're behind like 8 points or 11 points. I still think we can catch up with them if we win 10 games in a row. Now, that might be delusion. That might be just a hope or a fate. So if they were number 1, they should believe they're gonna win. You know what I mean?
They don't got the heart.
Thank you.
They ain't got the heart.
Yeah, we discussed that. What do you think about the Man City Liverpool game? AJ.
Well, I didn't finish. I only started, but I didn't finish.
Oh, let Martin finish. I'm sorry.
So I would just quickly segue from what you guys said about De Gea. I will kind of defend De Gea a little bit because I think it's difficult for goalkeepers those days. They're under huge pressure, under huge scrutiny, and you could see even De Gea didn't have a game like Alisson had that in that one particular game.
Alisson
even De Gea at his worst was not as bad as Alisson in this particular game. I mean, he pretty much handed 2 goals to City, and he was shaky all throughout the second half, unbelievably shaky. So pretty much, I would say, he was the anti-hero of the game. And it's very rare that we mention him in that regard. He was considered to be one of the best players in the entire world last year, right? It was 2019. The pandemic made me, think it's the same year still. In 2019, he was considered one of the best players. He was a candidate to win Player of the Year award. He was so great and so flawless. And even he's making mistakes, which kind of reminds me of the path De Gea was on when people were saying that he's the best goalkeeper in the world, one of 5 best players in the world. And now there's a lot of people saying that he's not good enough to play in the Premier League, where I think he might be still very good. Maybe there's a confidence problem.
Who said who's not what?
De Gea.
Who said that?
Oh, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Manu should."
Did any of you guys hear that?
That De Gea is not good enough? Of course.
No, definitely. Like Dean Henderson taking De Gea's spot is a thing right now. I mean, that
he's criticized all the time.
Yeah. But you're saying good enough to play. Martin always takes it to some level that nobody else is taking it to. You're saying David De Gea, people are saying he's not good enough to play in the Premier League is outrageous, bro.
No, I mean in the Premier League for Man U.
What do you think?
That he should sit out those games. That was my point. It was kind of
okay. All right.
Shortcut. I mean, he's good enough to play for West Brom, obviously, but maybe not for the Spurs because we're pretty happy with Lloris. But yeah, I mean, what my point is that it's easy to give up on goalkeepers when they are in a little bit of a funk, and I wouldn't give up.
David De Gea has been in a funk for the last 3 years.
No, he had some very good games lately, I think.
He's been in a funk.
He had less good of a games than mistakes, and you can't afford that to try to win a title.
I think he had more mistakes last season than this season, actually. I think he had more mistakes.
Yeah.
This season.
I feel like people are harsh on Alisson. Like, I feel like.
Oh no! In this game, he was awful. He
was awful this game.
I think my grandpa, who's 99 years old, would have less mistakes in this game than Alisson, probably.
But you know what though? Alisson is a world-class goalie. He can have a bad game one time.
That's the thing. It's like, I mean, and then it's not like I was watching some of the stuff. It's like, yeah, he could have done better in like parrying it further away and stuff like that. But it's like sometimes people like underestimate how quick some of these balls are coming at you. And because you're so used to seeing this world-class goalkeeper get it out to where it needs to be every time, when he doesn't, it makes it seem like, oh, he's incompetent. But it's like a lot more complicated than that. No, is that the level he's been at for all these years? No, but is he somebody you should think about like maybe dropping now or something like that? No.
But see, that's the point. But that's the point I'm making about De Gea, that people dragged De Gea's name through the mud because he had some bad games, and if Alisson has 2 or 3 more games like that, they will do the same thing to him. And it's easy to blame goalkeepers when it's not just the goalkeeper, it's who he has ahead of him. Sometimes shaky defense can make goalkeeper
because all of a sudden there's so many more shots on target coming at you.
It's easy to shit on goalkeeper and referee. Those are like the 2 easiest targets in football.
But the referees have been shit for Arsenal, so we need to talk about that. Actually,
but let me finish. But when you're a center forward on a team and you score 1 goal per season, suddenly nobody talks about it.
But you get cut.
There are those issues. You have Aubameyang on Arsenal, for example, or you have you have some Bale on our team, whatever, and they don't get shit. And
if you're on the top 4 team in any league and you're supposed to win, you cannot, like Barcelona. We lost to the league to Real Madrid 3 years ago, and our goalie did like 4 of those passes. He did 4 of those passes, when he passes to the forwards and they score, and we end up losing the league by 2 points. Sometimes when you're the top team, you can't afford to do mistakes like that. If Sheffield United goalie did that mistake, nobody be talking about him. But
show me a goalkeeper in Premier League who didn't make.
My point is, if you're in a big team and you're supposed to be world-class goalie, you deserve to talk about you if you fuck up.
True, but show me a goalkeeper who doesn't make mistakes. Show me one.
That's too fine a margin of error because, I get that. Yeah, like Liverpool lost to Man City by 2 points or whatever, and all that type of stuff. But it's like, if you're talking about the difference of 1 shot coming at you, when you're basically your whole defensive line is decimated, You're having midfielders playing in defense. You're having so many more shots coming at you that you're used to. Mistakes are gonna happen.
All right. We'll give Alisson a break. We'll give
just to finish. Just to finish. I want to say this about De Gea. He still does a lot of things in the game that he doesn't get credit for because people take it for granted. I think he's still top goalkeeper, and I wouldn't scratch him off. But if you want to guys scratch him off, we'll take him. Sure.
I have a feeling that he's heading towards the end of his career. Neil, what do you think about the Liverpool-Man City game?
I thought first half was a pretty even. So even before the game, I was expecting it to be a pretty even game because even though Liverpool has been in a very bad slump, in fact, including yesterday's result, they've been in a worse slump than Chelsea was when they sacked the manager. So it's not just a blip anymore. I've
seen fire Klopp.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
crazy.
That's even more crazier than taking shots at Alisson. But
I think. Sorry, Neil, I didn't mean to cut you
off. But I felt like against a team like City, Liverpool is gonna come out charging. But then the moment you saw that centre back pairing again of Fabinho and Henderson, which I think right now it's becoming pretty clear that not having them in midfield is having a cascade effect on the way the entire team plays.
Yes.
And, I feel that was a mistake. I feel even if you compromise a little bit on quality, you don't create a new problem to fix an existing problem, because then you're you're trying to swat holes on a boat. So they did that for 45 minutes. I actually thought the first 45 minutes Trent was having a pretty good game, and that flank was having a lot of threat, but he was doing his job. But then the moment in the second half, when those mistakes started happening, there was just one team. And I think Alisson, I don't even think it was if you're an incompetent keeper, the choice you're going to make at that point is actually to clear the ball. He actually backs himself and he backs his team with whom he has played for 4 years to that everything is good. When he goes in for that pass, even if the angles are narrow, the things are going to work out.
He backed his team so much, he passed the ball to Foden.
But yeah, I feel like that was just his confidence was gone. Now you have to remember, Alisson and Van Dijk were the last pieces of the puzzle. They came in when Klopp's team was more or less settled. So these two guys, away from everybody else in that Liverpool team that has won a lot, these two guys have not seen any sort of adversity. They have only played in good Liverpool teams and in good Liverpool seasons and cup runs. So, when you've made two mistakes on that second goal, actually, he made the same mistake twice on that second goal. So when
first you don't succeed,
try again. Yeah,
try again.
But so then that was clearly a confidence issue. He really was completely shot. So
no, only if you're done.
Yeah, after that, and a lot of teams you can make such mistakes, and I've seen keepers make such mistakes against a lot of teams and get away with it. Against Manchester City in this form, you will not they'll make you pay every single time.
Yeah. I just want to mention.
No. Let Mowhaaa go next. Go ahead.
I think Liverpool deserved to lose that game. Liverpool had 2 chances max in the whole game, and one of them was a big mistake by Diaz when he pulled Mohamed Salah, and that was his first mistake in his defense. And I think Man City played way better. Man City, Foden, Gundogan, and Sterling was on fire. The way Sterling took people on, the way he passed it. I know you don't like hearing about Man City. I think Man City played really well. Now, if you take away those mistakes, the 2 mistakes that cost Alisson the goals, they would have still lost. They would have lost 2-1, and if Gundogan hit his penalty, they would have lost 3-1. So I think Liverpool are in a really funk, and they should just pray to make top 4 at this point. And Man City, I don't think they're unstoppable. I think Man U can catch them. If I was a Man U fan, I think there's a chance, because if you think about it, Man City, they haven't won 10 games in a row or something like that. Before that, they were
13.
Yeah, they were like at the 11th spot. So if now I feel like maybe from second spot all the way to ninth spot in the Premier League, it's like 6-9 points difference. Whoever goes on winning streak is going to jump up. Why can't Man U go on winning streak and jump up 8 points? You know what I mean?
Because go ahead.
But I think City deserved to win that game. Liverpool, everybody's trying to point fingers at Alisson. Even without his mistakes, they would have lost the game.
Right. Well, as far as the game is concerned, that's the last time I root for Liverpool. You son of a bitches. I had on a Liverpool shirt. I'm sitting in the living room. I'm like, go beat this team for me and pull them back towards us in the pack. And you, first half was decent, but let me tell you something, man. Phil Foden is turning into the goddamn monster that Pep told us that he was gonna be, and it's happening before our very eyes. And Sterling is getting back into his groove, because if you think about Sterling the last few years, the levels that he was at, he didn't start the season that way, but he's definitely doing that now. And then Bernardo Silva, you just can't. Is it Bernardo Silva? Yeah. You just can't have Bernardo Silva on your bench for no fucking reason. And him and Foden pretty much got assists on the same type of goal, where somebody locks them down on the goal line and there's nowhere to go, and they're so calm, they're so composed, and they find their guy. So it's just like, I don't think, thank you for the props, giving Man United the props that they can catch them. But until we end up with more players on our team with that type of composure, you know what I mean? And, we have some really good players. I'm not shitting on our team, and we're doing good. Like that Bruno Fernandes goal was top shelf. You know what I mean? But you even forget about that goal because of the results of the game. Look at AJ's face.
Because that goalkeeper it just seemed like he was trash. Like, don't get me wrong, the goal was good, but it's like it just seemed like that goalkeeper didn't have any athleticism to him. It's like it went right over his head. Like it's not like
listen, AJ, when you're a good tailor and you can measure somebody's wrists and their neck collar and the waist and the length of their inseam, you're gonna make a great suit for them. And that's what Bruno Fernandes did. Bro.
Oh, he measured his vertical from 20.
He tailored the shit out of that goalkeeper.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
AJ, give Bernardo Silva credit. Give Bernardo Silva credit. He didn't know if he was gonna shoot a pass. He didn't know, and he chipped it. That was
he got it. But what I'm saying is that it wasn't like, in terms of a goalkeeper saving that ball, you don't have to even be that athletic or tall a goalkeeper to save that ball.
He's on his knee. He's on his knee already.
He caught him out, AJ. It's perfect. He Ronaldinho'd him. The same way Ronaldinho'd England in the World Cup. Now, I want this. This is probably going to get heated and more interesting, because I'm going to skip some topics. We only have a limited amount of time.
I want to say one thing about
Martin,
City.
but you're going to want to talk about this. You're going to want to talk about this. So trust me.
I want to finish about City. You didn't get
No, we have to move on because we have no time. Do you want to not? Then we don't talk about Tottenham. Then we don't talk about Arsenal.
Please don't.
and we are. So first, I'm going to feed some meat to the lions, and we're going to talk about Arsenal and their loss to Villa. And then we're going to go to Tottenham. So let's talk about let's go to Arsenal and Villa. AJ, it's your team. How you feeling, man?
I'm just saying, it seems like there's a conspiracy in the league to take wins away from us, because it was the Wolves. I think everybody can agree with me on the Wolves bullshit that was. You can't tell me that somebody is supposed to be able to just vanish from behind somebody and expect their stud to touch their knee and then it makes no sense. The law.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the red card that they gave David Luiz, and
that was a game ago.
That was a game ago.
I agree. I agree with you. I'm with you.
Coming back to this Aston Villa one.
But AJ, let me ask you a question about that. So the guy's on his way to score, and David accidentally tripped him. And so do you think there should have been a penalty?
Penalty, yes. Even a yellow card. But to give him a penalty and a red card, that's insane.
But you know, the same day, the same call was made in another game against a player from another team.
Right.
So would you
And
say
then
it's a
they
conspiracy? It was consistent. Would you say it's a
but that one from the other team, I believe it was
Benarac, Southampton, Manchester.
That one got rescinded.
So
they did admit that they made the wrong call.
So did they appeal? Did you guys appeal?
They appealed and they denied the appeal. Why? I don't know.
Because you know why though? You should calm down because the guy who appealed from the other team, he came back and scored an own goal in his next game. And I'm assuming they're like, it's David Luiz. He's only going to hurt Arsenal some more. So it's best if he stays out for 3 games.
Anyway,
it's for your own good.
Coming back to this Aston Villa game now. Two new egregious offenses. One, Saka threw on goal. It was really close to the halfway line, to be fair. But there was no other defender except for the defender that pulled him down.
Whoa.
What?
Are you saying that was a foul?
What do you mean? Yes, they gave him a card for it.
Saka fouled that guy. Are you out of your fucking mind?
You talking? What do you mean Saka fouled the guy? The guy that pulled him down when he was through on goal?
He pulled him. Yeah.
In the first half?
I'm talking about Aston Villa. Yeah, I'm talking about Aston Villa game. Yeah. They pulled Saka down. They gave him even if Saka fouled him, they gave the other guy a yellow card.
I know, but that guy, Saka fouled that guy. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Saka clipped him.
What?
Martin, did you see that?
Accidentally. Saka did clip him.
Thank you. Saka clipped him.
Okay, but I think it was weird. I think it was weird because before he clipped him, he was pulling Saka back.
They pulled him down.
He didn't.
But regardless of what you think happened with that instance, the referee said it was a foul. And Saka was through on goal. Therefore, by the rules of the game, it's a red card. But
no, I don't think Saka was through on goal though. Like he didn't even have control of the ball.
But
like the ball was coming. They were both going for the ball.
AJ, let him finish.
How many defenders were in front of him?
I understand, but nobody's through on goal if you're still in the
the player.
The duel hasn't even begun.
Okay.
No, he did have the ball. Saka had the ball.
No, he didn't. The defender had the ball.
It was just an air ball, and basically nobody had the ball.
I thought Saka had the ball and kicked it forward, and he got grabbed.
He was moving forward, and he got pulled down. Anyway, what about the second offense with Emilio Martinez pulling Lacazette down clearly in the box as the ball is coming to him? Yanks his shirt. There's no misinterpretation or anything. He got pulled down. No penalty.
Yeah, I think that was a foul. That was nothing. A foul. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So the streets is out to get us, man. They're trying to keep a
So this has nothing to do with Arsenal's heart.
What do you mean? That's hard. We're fighting. We still fight, even though we know the league is against us. We still fighting.
Let me talk about
let me just get Martin's take on this game.
Okay.
What's your take on the Arsenal Villa game?
Well, my take on Arsenal Villa game is that Arsenal are extremely inconsistent and underperforming this season, and it's even worse than I expected because
what does that have to do with you?
I was saying that they'll finish 8th this season, but they won't most likely. And it looked like for a moment they had momentum going because of unbelievable performances from Saka, their best player. But no, I mean, Aubameyang in which league?
Best young player in the Premier League, Saka. Yeah, you heard me.
Right? I wouldn't say the best young player in the league. One of the best players, but I wouldn't say the best player in the league.
You could say
more goal contributions than Saka.
You could say Foden. You could bring Foden up.
How many goal? Let's look at these stats. How many goal contributions?
Foden, Rashford, Foden.
Rashford's only 22, bro.
Trent Alexander. We talk about teenagers here, man. Okay, fine. Then let's start talking about 25-year-olds if we're going to do that.
Can I talk about that 22. Game real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, AJ, you sound like salty loser.
What do you mean? You just admitted that it was a foul.
Let me explain. I agree it should have been a red card. We're on the same page there. I agree it should have been a penalty for Lacazette. But now, let me play devil's advocate. Goalies, the referee has 2 eyes, right? He's watching everybody in the box. Last thing he's watching is when the goalie and the forward are clashing, he's not looking for them to. Because
I'm not talking about the referee. They keep calling VAR. Where's the VAR on that?
But VAR only goes
after somebody's
is
also a referee.
Yeah, but they have to call something.
But they're not calling Arsenal.
Now, AJ, let me finish. I don't think and that was right. I think you should have got a penalty. I agree with you. But last thing I want to hear is excuses and be salty and delusional. That's what you are right now.
So you agreed with me that
AJ, let him finish. AJ, let him finish. AJ, let him finish.
Just because you don't get a few calls doesn't mean everybody's against your team. They're trying to make you lose.
And here's how
maybe you should blame Pep. Pep is talented player, but he misses so many chances. I know he scored a sick goal the other week, right?
Yeah, Pepe.
But he misses so many chances, dude. He's very talented, but he can't finish. You don't have Aubameyang, like I said, not scoring goals. Like, if you're gonna blame somebody, maybe blame your team. Maybe also it was a blessing in disguise that Luis didn't play. Maybe you lost 3-0 with Luis played. So don't blame everything on the referees. That's all I'm saying. Take some accountability. Take a little bit of accountability.
No. I take accountability. When we're on the losing streak, we deserved a lot of those losses.
Well, you are right now again.
I'm telling you about these two games that are in question. They have been very clear things that went against us. And when the exact same thing went against the other team in the very next game, it wasn't called. There was no VAR.
I'm not hearing accountability. I'm hearing blames.
I'm hearing blames too, but let's let Neil say what he's got to say.
I didn't finish because I was interrupted.
Martin, you're gonna listen. We're done in 10. No.
We're done. Take over. I don't even.
We're done in 10 minutes. Neil.
No, basically, I think what AJ is saying, there have been penalty calls or like even refereeing decisions this season that have not, like, a lot of people, it's very clear that, how was this not a foul? But I think that goes like for every team in this season. And here's how I know. No, but here's how I know
it's more penalties than Man U.
But here's how I know it's not a conspiracy, because you remember like there were so many conspiracy theories about the presidential election here.
I don't think
who wasn't complaining about a conspiracy? The guy who came in ninth. Like, you're not that important for the group, for the league and the referees to have to change everything to pull you down. So Arsenal hasn't been relevant in the Premier League title fight for like almost 20 years now.
Arsenal is
you came in third. The only time you actually had a shot, you came in third.
Be nicer to them. They took Willian out of your payroll. Be nicer to them.
I mean, the only time you guys were had a shot, you came in third in the 2-horse race. So
wait, who did you lose to in the FA Cup?
Willian.
No, but who did you lose? Oh, so you lost to the team that.
Well, interesting.
What did you win last year?
No. But interesting you say that.
Last year, though?
Interesting you say that, because if you saw that game and now you're talking about referees.
Oh, so you thought you were going to win that game if it wasn't for referees?
So AJ.
Wow.
But because it didn't happen, I'm not sitting here thinking, there was a conspiracy.
You're gonna lose either way, fam. Are you?
AJ, how is there a conspiracy when you guys still won stuff?
No, fam. I don't think it's really a conspiracy, but I do think that there's certain teams that they're giving more calls. For instance, Bruno Fernandes could be damn near top goal scorer because of how many penalties Man U keeps getting every.
We haven't got penalties in a minute, bro.
But you have more than anybody else has gone in the.
Somebody is always going to have more penalties.
Yes, but there seems to be some reason they keep calling them for you.
I think you're hanging on to an old argument.
Arsenal don't deserve the penalties.
Old argument. How many penalties have? Let me look this up. How many penalties has Man U gotten this year?
But you know what though? Man U is in the box more often than you. They deserve all the penalties you deserve. You shouldn't have as many penalties.
Yeah, when you get in the box, that happens. You know what I mean? When you get in the box and you got skill, that happens. But you'll get used to that when you get a good team. Let's talk about Spurs. They finally won.
My team is the only team that's won anything recently. But
Spurs finally won a game. They beat. Who did you beat, Martin? West Brom. 2-0. How do you feel, Martin? Do you feel
3 points?
Yeah, that's it.
No, here's what I feel. And this season is still up for grabs from one perspective. If Mourinho wins 1 or 2 trophies, and we can still win 3 of them, if they win Carabao Cup, bad news, we play City in the final. That's really bad news. And Guardiola will not let Mourinho win it just for the sake of old friendship, for sure. So it's going to be a very tough game. So we're in the final of the Carabao Cup. But let's say he wins Carabao Cup and Europa League, or Carabao Cup and FA Cup, and finishes 8th in the league. It's an okay season. But if he doesn't win those trophies and we finish 8th or 7th, then it's a bad season.
Let me question. How would you feel about trophies? Because you don't have any. You since the 60s.
Well, you can have an argument that you have the top four trophies. You can make an argument that is kind of equal value. To win
maybe for other teams.
Top four.
Maybe for other teams that's equal. But like Spurs having not won for a while.
Yeah, but I would still like to be in the Champions League instead of just winning Carabao Cup. Although I would like to win the Carabao Cup, but I think the top four is slipping away.
How about you chew before you swallow?
Yes, but I think we have good enough team to be better, and I think we're not.
Do you?
And that was a bad. Yeah, I do. And I think it's
you got Kane. You got Kane and Son.
Okay,
and then,
Kane and Son. But Bale.
They have a pretty good team.
Okay, let me finish, guys. We don't let me talk at all on this podcast today.
I was backing you up.
And I like to talk. Guys, I like to talk.
You do.
So here is the thing. There is a mystery with Bale. I'm gonna say a few things. Number one. Mr. with Bale, why he's not playing Bale? Either he's so bad and so burnt out as a player and finished that he'll go to China, collect paychecks, and that's it. Or Mourinho is making a mistake, like he did in the past with some other players. Just to say Salah and De Bruyne at Chelsea as a good example, right? But there were other players at United as well who he didn't play, and he kind of should have played or could have.
Ibra.
Well, I mean, Ibra actually played.
He played Ibra. They're friends.
Him there.
He sent him when he went to Inter. He sent him to Barca. Remember that?
You mean Lukaku?
No, when first time he went to Inter, he said, Ibra, I don't need you. Ibra came to Barca.
But he kind of wanted to play at Barca. He kind of when you read his biography, he was pushing for that move. So,
of course.
So I'm not gonna blame him for that. He brought him to United.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Mourinho does mistakes. I agree with you.
Yeah, but so there is a Bell situation. Then there is him changing lineups and calling players in and out. He was in love with Dyer. Then Dyer didn't play last game. Sanchez played last game. So there's lack of consistency with that. And the worst part of it, for me personally, as somebody said it, I think Paul Merson, Tottenham are playing boring football, and this boring football doesn't translate into results.
I love it.
If we were second in the league playing boring football, like there was a stretch when we beat City, we beat City and Arsenal, and we draw against Chelsea away, 7 points in 3 games, playing boring football. So if we had results like that on a regular basis, I would say I'm happy with it. But because we are mediocre while playing bad football, that's not good enough, man. That's not good enough. I'm critical. I think we have a good team with Ndombele being possibly world-class player who could go to Real Madrid after this season or whatever. And I think we should be better. I think we should play better football. I don't like the way we play. It's not fun. I watch highlights. I don't watch full games because it's boring.
Can I talk about that game? First of all, when you had 2 chances, no, you had 2 great goals. Luka Moura did that move, gave it to Son. That was beautiful. And then before that was Harry Kane was rusty at the beginning. He was missing a lot of chances.
Højbjerg gave the pass actually. Yeah.
Huh?
Højbjerg sent the pass.
Højbjerg was the pass on the first game.
Yeah, but the first goal, I said Luka Moura did the second pass. Anyways, those 2 goals was immaculate, right? And you barely won. Now,
we were better. We would have won anyway.
You deserve the win.
But it's West Brom. I agree with you.
You deserve the win. But let me finish. Mourinho, the reason he haven't won shit and get fired last 6-8 years is because he's playing
he won shit and he got fired. He did win.
Let me explain that why I think Mourinho will never get you a title, because he plays defense and then counterattack. That system doesn't work no more. Teams are developed. The players on small teams like Brighton are very talented. Everybody's so talented. We play this. The game have evolved to offense, and Mourinho's tactics will win him games. He will be maybe top 4, top 5, but he will never win a title. And I agree with you. You'd rather be in the Champions League than win the FA Cup or whatever, Carabao Cup. Now, it was kind of ambitious for you to say you can win the Europa League, you can win the Carabao Cup. I don't think you can win the Europa League. The way Mourinho plays, I don't think you can win a lot. Mourinho is had the old school mentality, and you would never go nowhere. I think the problem is Mourinho. Now, if you look at the team squad, Tottenham have great players everywhere. It's just Mourinho is not the one. You play the team on the bottom of the league, basically.
Can I just say something about Tottenham? I think they clearly have a defensive problem. Their best defender is old, and Eric Dyer is probably not a good defender, and their backs are suspects. So for Tottenham, just period, they don't have a back four for all intensive purposes. So
I think Eric Dyer in the game versus Chelsea, he conceded that penalty, and he made another mistake which could have resulted in a goal too. But I think apart from that, he had a pretty good game. I think he had like
but that's like saying
a lot of blocks that were, shots that were
but that's like saying goals. What's the name of the Liverpool goalkeeper again?
Alisson.
That's like saying Alisson had a good game despite those two mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's like those are the things that count.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm saying Mourinho needs to decide like what is that chemistry between Dyer and Alderweireld. Both are pretty old, so they're not the quickest pair of legs. So they're limited in what they can do.
Also, Arsenal is the third.
I want AJ to say what he has to say about Spurs.
I feel like for Spurs, obviously, they're doomed just by who they are. They don't. There's no. It's like it's trying to like hope for Rudy to win the championship. Essentially, is what we're trying to do here. It's like, yeah, they're gonna always be in the mix somewhere, but they're not gonna win anything. And the main way you know this is gonna happen is because they're playing counter-attacking football, but also because you see how completely devoid that team is of ideas once Harry Kane isn't playing, which he always is gonna not be playing a bunch of games every season.
That's
if
fair.
Harry Kane could make it through 38 games in the season, and Son can also ball out like this year for the next however many years, then maybe they would get to like second or something, but it's not enough. They're not going to get that far. Then in terms of like all the other stuff around Premier League, they could kind of maybe do the same thing, but once again, the same volatilities that they have in their defense and in their attacking strategy are always going to come up to the front. Because if Harry Kane doesn't score, like it's funny because everybody's always talking about Arsenal and Aubameyang, but if Harry Kane doesn't score, then that's pretty much it. They just lose or tie or put a bunch of midfielders in striking positions and then do nothing all day. It's not. It's like it's not. There's no real hope for their strategy. And then if Harry Kane leaves, who they're trying to get Danny Ings. That's the savior. I don't know what the point of everything.
He'll work in that. He'll actually work in that system because he plays in a system.
But
he's
not going to make them a champion.
Right.
A champion
Martin,
team.
Martin, what do you think Spurs need to win a title?
But I like better the style of Pochettino Spurs. I'm not gonna lie. I like better the concept of the game. It stopped working at the very end, but I like the concept. It was beautiful to watch. It was offensive. It was beautiful sometimes. You know, with Dele Alli playing actually a center role in it, and he completely disappeared and fell out of the picture. And I don't know how much it's his fault. Probably it is his fault too, or how much is the fact that he doesn't get along with Mourinho after all. And it's funny, kind of, when Mourinho was mentioning the players that kind of trying to explain a bad run, saying that some players were injured, couldn't play, and named Dele Alli as one of the key players. I'm like, well, when he was healthy, you didn't play him. So how was he a key player for you? I think Mourinho has 2 months to prove that he can turn it around, and if he doesn't turn it around, I think it's time for someone new to take over.
Martin, like, two questions. What would you want to happen in the summer?
I mean, I want to see where we end up.
And what do you think the club will end up doing? Like, if you don't get top 4, which is looking unlikely right now.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's looking unlikely because actually teams are dropping points all the time, except of City, right?
That's true.
It doesn't look unlikely when you look at it. West Ham can finish top 4, which is kind of funny, because they actually can, and David Moyes looks like a genius again. It almost looks like it's we went back in time 15 years ago, and he's when he was at the helm of Everton, and Everton was always behind top four, like fourth, fifth. Sometimes they finish, I think, fourth one season, and he actually they actually were the only English team to lose.
Remember one time Everton finished eighth, and it felt like they won the title.
Yeah, but one time they finished top four and they played the qualification of Champions League, and till this day they are the only team, Everton under Moyes, who lost in the qualification to the Champions League. But still, I mean, he's back there with West Ham right now.
So let me say this:
if they manage to finish top 6 and he wins two trophies, that's a good season still.
But what is going to happen with Jose?
If he wins trophies and finish top 6, he will stay for another year for sure.
The thing with Jose Mourinho is that at the end of the day, he's a prima donna type of manager. He's the type of guy that is made for a team that has way bigger pockets than what Tottenham has. He made Daniel Levy spend money. Tottenham was top 3 in spending money in the league.
7 players.
Yeah, but top 3 in the COVID season, like
we spent money. We spent a lot of money.
What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, the way Mourinho is, the way he rubs his star players wrong, the way he has to have certain players like Dele Alli, or if it's Pogba on the last team, it's like he's always going to make a certain amount of star players let him know that I'm the guy here, I'm the boss. And you can pull that at teams with like Man U and like PSG that have big pockets. But when you're talking about Tottenham, if Dele Alli leaves, like,
but
who
I just told you we're one of the biggest spenders in the league.
No, but I'm saying you're saying that for the COVID season when nobody spent. You're saying
even previous season we spent 75 mil for the Dumbella.
Let's be honest though, Mourinho's ego is going to ruin every team. Even if he gets the pocket to buy all these players, right? He gets.
But he can do that at teams that can afford it.
Yeah, you gotta AJ. You gotta let him finish.
He failed at Real Madrid. He failed in Man U, even with the money, because he
won
has the old school.
Failed, but he didn't.
He has the old school mentality of defense, counterattack. That doesn't work. I mean, it might work because he has such a talented players, but it's not going to work to win the title.
All right, that's cool. So Neil is on. I don't want to ignore his team, Chelsea. You got, what's that, the 3rd win under Tuchel?
3 wins and 4, yeah.
3 wins in
Good
4. One was a draw, but
yeah,
you beat a team at the
Sheffield
bottom of the table.
Sheffield and 2-1. Yeah.
Right. So the Spurs won. Yeah. So we'll give you that. So how are you feeling about this Tuchel thing?
So I mean we're getting the points. I don't think we are playing different movements and different slightly different formations. With 3 at the back and essentially playing really high wing backs. But I thought the Spurs game was really crucial for whatever Tuchel wants to do with this team, because it was a game against a good defense, good defenders, but who were not trying to do anything. So it was kind of like, after a point, except for the last 20 minutes, it became like a training session, like a really high quality training session.
Against Spurs?
Yeah. Because for the first, even well into this, well, at least the first half, Spurs really didn't try to do anything at all. So I think that was the good game for us to get a lot out of. But the same thing I've been saying on every podcast. Our problems with finishing will make sure that no matter how good we play in any game, when you're in the last 10, 20 minutes of a game, any team in the Premier League has the capability to, if it's a 1-goal game, to make you drop points. And it almost happened against Spurs. Despite not doing anything in the entire game, Vinicius had a clear header that he could have scored off and drawn in the 87th minute. And similarly against Sheffield, we were like, we are controlling the game.
Son in the stoppage time, Son had a pretty good chance. But usually
Son had a good chance. Yeah.
But I agree with you that you guys outplayed us in this game. You were a much better team for sure.
What about Sheffield? What about Sheffield game?
Yeah, even Sheffield game, our midfield. I mean, there's a reason I don't like Jorginho and Kovacic in that midfield. But I want to cut them some slack because they were playing their 4th game in 12 days. But they were horrible in that game, and our defenders did a good job. But we were completely getting run over in midfield by 2 championship midfielders. So that was not good. The rest of the team played well. But after a point, we started controlling the game, and then Rudiger pulled a Rudiger, and he literally just passed the ball into the net. And I feel bad for him because he's having, since Lampard got sacked, some rumors came out, and he's been getting a lot of racial abuse online from fans, which we're seeing so many incidents of that. And he's
his
come
own
out,
fans, from his own fans.
Yeah,
from fans everywhere, right? Like online, like social media.
Oh,
so
it's not good.
So-
and then he's actually had a good run of games. Even the Sheffield game, he was good, except those 10 minutes of madness where he conceded a goal and he almost conceded a penalty. Like he went and did this, and those 50-50s, I've seen them being given as penalties too. So
but that's Rudiger, and that's the problem with Rudiger.
and I hope Tuchel quickly realizes, and this is something I felt like Lampard was one of the issues with Lampard too. Like he got his pecking order wrong at a couple of places. And if Tuchel does that, it'll hurt him too in the long run. I think so far so good. But I'm still waiting to see that one game where I feel like, yeah, we have a manager who can, take us to the next level.
But Neil, it's not going to happen, because that's the way he coaches. He's a very methodical coach, and he gives you results, and he gave you results. But that's the way Chelsea will play. You're not going to play as fabulous as you played in the best games Lampard was coaching, with flawless offensive football. But at the same time, you're not going to have those dips. And you're not going to lose 2 games in a row under Tuchel, in my opinion, either.
So you're saying Tuchel doesn't play good-looking football?
Tuchel plays a pragmatic football. He's a German manager. German managers, except of Klopp, who is an anomaly, they're very pragmatic.
Or what about Hasenhüttl?
I think they come from a similar school of coaching, right? Like all of these guys, Hasenhüttl, Klopp, Tuchel, who's the other guy? Rangnick is the guy who kind of like got this whole German pressing thing.
I watched that game against Sheffield. I gotta say, you guys were very lucky they didn't get them penalty, and then the goal was offside. They played really well, and maybe I think it's time for him to start Kante. Kante did come in that game, but I think Kovacic is tired. He's been playing every game, you know what I mean? And Jorginho is maybe, I feel like he's playing at this point just to get the penalties. You know what I mean? Anybody can score.
No, to be fair to them, I don't really like them, but they have been doing well in the 3 games before this game. So,
go ahead. I like Tuchel that he actually rotates players. He started Mount finally. I think Mount is your best player so far. He started Mount. He's trying different players.
He's rotating a lot. Yeah. I think he's already started 17 players.
So that's the question I want to ask you. I'm looking right at the lineups from the last 2 Chelsea games, right? So I'm looking at the roster. So you started Mendy, that's standard, right? So in the back against Spurs, you played Rudiger, Silva, Azpilicueta, right? Against Sheffield, you played Rudiger, Christensen.
Silva is injured.
And say again?
Silva is injured. Silva was injured during this first game.
All right, cool. So let me go. And then you played 4 in front of them. So in the Spurs game, it was Alonso, Kovacic, Jorginho, and James. In this game, it was Chilwell, Kovacic, Jorginho, and James. Why the switch? Especially after didn't Alonso score in the Spurs game?
He don't play the game before that.
He don't play defense.
He scored in the game before that versus Burnley.
Okay, so who played the?
So Chilwell played the first game, Alonso played 2, and now Chilwell played the 4th game.
Okay. So this is just a rotation strategy.
Yeah, I think this is rotation. I mean, Marcus Alonso, if he can play 2 games on the trot, that's great. I don't expect him to play 3 games.
I think Tuchel is just trying out different players to see what he like. And I think Chilwell is better. Chilwell is better, to be honest.
All right, so what about this change? So I see a diamond in this formation, but it's a reverse diamond in one game and a typical diamond in the other game. Meaning, let me say, it's not a diamond; it's a triangle. So so there's a triangle, upside down triangle in the Spurs game, right? So there's Mount, and then on one side it's Hudson-Odoi, and the other side it's Werner, and then in the game.
They're playing split strikers, not even strikers. Like they're playing Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner slightly off the center, and Mason Mount was playing like a false nine. So he was coming into those pockets. And in the second game, because we are playing two like Giroud, so it was Giroud and Timo Werner playing as two up front, and Mount was playing as the number 10 behind them.
How long is the injury for Silva and Werner? They both got hurt last 2 games.
I think Werner's going to be fine. He's going to play the next game. Silva, I think he's going to miss the FA Cup game, and then he's going to miss the one Premier League game, and he's going to be back after that.
Okay.
But the interesting thing was Pulisic was left out of the squad, apparently due to some family reasons. So
I saw him like joking around with Tuchel after the game.
That was the second game, but like the game against Sheffield, he was not in the squad.
Okay.
So
all right.
I think your defense is horrendous. You need to get Silva healthy and buy defenders next year. Your defense is not.
I feel like defense is everybody's problem. It's crazy.
I think defensively we've
except
been
Man City.
Arsenal, 3rd best defensive team in the league.
We are the second best, by the way.
I'm just saying. All of y'all talking about, I'm just saying Arsenal has the 3rd least goals.
What the hell are you in 11th?
So what are you doing in 11th?
Because we haven't been scoring. Our team just started clicking, baby. And then the ones that we weren't supposed to win.
So you call those two last losses clicking?
No, I'm saying I would call those 2 last losses travesties. Is what I would call them.
Me too.
I know when you
the referees have actually Mike Dean has actually said that he doesn't want to referee the next game because
he got death threats, not because.
He got death threats, and obviously that's wrong, and that should never happen. But he did make mistakes in those games.
My team has a bad defense too, but we won 7 in a row because we got somebody named Leo Messi in our team.
Yeah, but you're also in La Liga, where it's only 3 teams that matter. So
okay. Let's not start the La Liga conversation with Premier League. The top 2 teams in La Liga, Real and Barca, have always smacked Premier League teams. Always.
So then how come it was all Premier League teams in Champions League and Europa League?
Yeah, that happened. That happened with the La Liga as well. Remember when it was Real Madrid, Barcelona?
Guys, it's cyclical. It's cyclical. Nobody owns it outright. It's cyclical.
I like how Arsenal fan is on the hot seat
100% better.
Arsenal, please don't talk to me. You guys have never won the Champions League. We smacked
Premier League is better than La Liga. Do you dispute that fact?
We win Champions League, though.
I'm asking a simple question. Is Premier League better than La Liga?
Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not.
No,
sometimes it is
better. But doesn't mean the Premier League is better. Doesn't mean you're better than Barca.
All right, guys.
I never said it better than
guys.
Barca.
Everybody gets to say one last thing. So let me go with, because it's 6:13. I don't want to keep Aaron. He's a goddamn dad. He's a grown man, responsible with a baby seat, a car seat in the back of his car.
Future Tottenham fan.
Well, if he wants to be a good dad, don't do that, Aaron. But Martin, what's your last thing about this week?
City won the title, so that's a wrap. That was a significant game that solidified City winning the title. Good job, Guardiola, putting his team back on the track. Now that he will try to win the Champions League, and if that happens, that will be his best season so far. Now everything is open behind that. If United finish second, it's an improvement. If they finish third, it's going to be the same as last year with a better team, so it will be a step back for United.
What if we finish third with more points?
Still, that would be a disappointment comparing to where you could be. So finish second for the sake of it. If not, then it will be a problem.
We don't need a Tottenham guy setting our standard. But continue. Go ahead.
Now, still a lot of teams can finish second, third, and fourth, even West Ham, even Everton, and hopefully Tottenham, maybe Chelsea. Who knows what happens? I don't think Arsenal will be there at the end. So that's the case. I think the last 3 pretty much set. I think the teams that are in the bottom third will finish there. I don't see much hope. Maybe Fulham can pull something because they have some good defensive game at times, but it's just talent-wise. I don't see who will slip. Newcastle, I don't see that. So I think those three teams will go down, and that's about it.
Let me see. What you got, Neil? Oh, what you got, AJ?
This season pretty much a wash for Arsenal, I would say. It's still I always think there's still hope. Technically it's 9 points behind fourth place right now, but with the way all the teams are playing, you never know what could happen, because really, as we've seen from the last couple of weeks, the matter of 3 games goes from a team winning the title to all of a sudden they're about to fall out of the Champions League spots. Yeah, I agree that the last 3 teams is not looking great. I think that Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield are probably going to go out of it. And yeah, Man City is probably going to win it. Main thing I would say is I would like to see more consistency in terms of refereeing decisions and use of VAR. And something needs to be done about this double jeopardy red card, last defender man rule, because obviously I think there needs to be some level of assessment in regards to the intent of what happened. Like
don't you think that was applied, that like your prayers were answered, and that was applied in the Villa game when the referee did not give the guy who fouled Saka a red card? Don't you think they say, you know what, AJ's right, let's not give a red. This is not an intentional thing, and they finally did what you would want them to do, and now you have a problem with it.
Then if they want to do that, they should have done that in the Arsenal game then too. don't go and correct it.
They just realized it was a problem after you guys
because you brought it up.
Yeah, but thanks. You know what, AJ? Thank you.
No,
from the rest of the league, thank you.
Thank you.
No, I feel like there has been. I don't want to say conspiracy, but there
you
has
said it
been,
though.
There has
multiple
been,
times.
There has been
hoax
an effort. There has been an effort to unfairly. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the teams that are getting a lot of these penalty calls and stuff.
Bro,
like that,
you sound like the QAnon of this podcast.
They deserve to be there, but it's incongruent the amount certain teams are getting, and I think. And the amount of, like, you could breathe on Salah and all of a sudden it's penalty. You could just look at Bruno Fernandes and they're already throwing cards up in the air. So I would just like to see some of that preferential treatment coming North London's way, with the exception of
AJ. I don't hear you blame the coach. I don't hear you blame the players. I don't hear you blame Pep.
No. All those things. You
don't say nothing. All you're saying is you're acting like a victim.
Because we're talking
he's the best player.
We're talking about what happened.
I like how we're roasting Arsenal in this.
Yeah,
podcast.
Everybody wants to attack Arsenal, but don't worry, we'll take it.
I like how Arsenal has joined the Me Too movement. That's all I have to say.
Exactly. Everybody wants to roast Arsenal. We'll take it. The team has been poor. We could have been a lot better. We started to look a lot better, but also a lot of egregious calls have gone against us.
You know
what? Mowhaaa, don't address AJ, but say your last word.
Get off Arsenal's
and address the AJ might be in there, it might not, but AJ, let him finish.
I just want to say one last thing about Arsenal, too quick. When AJ wasn't here, we didn't talk about Arsenal because they're irrelevant. The reason we're talking about them is because you made him a victim. You put him in the Me Too movement, like he has said. Now, move on. Hey,
Mowhaaa.
Go
ahead. Are you done, Mowhaaa, or you got more?
No, I just want to shout out my team for coming back again and winning in the 90th minute. We are on fire. Atletico Madrid better watch their little asses, because Messi came off the bench. On his second touch of the game, he scored a goal, and then he had 2 assists. It was beautiful. And Ian, I don't know if you watched the last Barcelona games.
Trincao.
Yeah, but Trincao had the winning goal, but Messi came.
And Dembele assist to Messi.
Yeah, and that was beautiful. That was his second touch of the game. He came off the bench. I'm just excited, and I think I'm excited for Champions League next week. We're going to smack Pochettino and PSG. So tune in.
Oh, that's what you got? Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's super interesting. Neil, what you got?
No, I was just looking at the table, and I think when Tuchel took over, we had a gap of 5 points to 11 points. from teams who we could, maybe take over. Like I'm leaving Man City aside, but I think the range was 5 to 11. Now it's down to 1 to 6 points. So, and there's a lot of games to go. We have a couple of winnable games right now, so I hope we use those to, fix our issues with finishing and stuff, and get ready, because March is going to be really tough for us. We have a lot of tough fixtures in March, so it'd be good to like get some of these cobwebs dusted and get ready for March. And about the Arsenal referee thing, I'm also very very upset that the Premier League is trying so hard to keep a 8th place team 9th.
You see, everybody wants to hate, man.
Listen, special victims unit. Like they're gonna give Arsenal its own law and order.
You notice
Arsenal
all the
law and
like,
order. Arsenal SUV. All right. So my last word is
you beat us, so it's fine.
Yeah, they beat us too.
Yep.
Yeah, you beat us too.
Yep. See what happens when no calls aren't just flying in.
Yeah. So I guess my last word is, so at the beginning of the year, I was wondering, if you asked me who was going to win the league, I said it's between Liverpool or Man City, right? And then everybody started playing well, playing bad, playing well, playing bad. And then we got to last week's conversation, and I said, I think I know who Liverpool is now. Well, at the beginning of the season, I said the winner of the league is going to be between Man City and Liverpool. But I also said that it depends on if Liverpool maintains the hunger that they had the last 2 years. And that was the question, not the ability, whether they maintain the hunger. And they've had some injuries, and then everybody's waiting for Liverpool to start their season. And last week, I'm like, I think they lost last week too. I was like, I think they lost 3. So I was like, I think this is who they are. And the only thing that can change my mind from last week about them being who they are, this is it. This is what we're going to get from them for the season. I'm going to stop expecting this growth spurt, was if they beat Man City. And they did not beat Man City. And then something that Neil said in this podcast that I said like in weeks earlier, I said the injuries in the back have definitely affected the way they play up front, because you take the midfielders who would get assists and know how to operate with the forwards up the front, and you put them in defense, and like Neil said beautifully, you can't fix a problem by breaking and causing another problem. And I think that's what Liverpool has done. As far as Man United, so I think anybody's like waiting for Liverpool to start, this is it. This is what you're gonna get. They're gonna win some and they're gonna lose some, and who knows where they'll end up with that type of lack of fluidity and flow. And as far as Man United, it's like every week they prove that they are not ready to win the title. Not every week. Like some weeks you're like, they got it, and some weeks you don't. But the team that's going to win the title, you never have to experience what Man U is letting you experience. But what they're letting you experience is that they're growing, and it's a pleasure to watch them grow. And I don't know if we'll win a cup. Hopefully we'll win a cup, and hopefully we'll win second. And then Solskjaer can keep his job and have a chance to bring it home next season. So that's the last word. And thank you all for coming on. AJ, I'm sorry that your brothers who are Man U fans. How did you end up an Arsenal fan in a Man U house?
Nobody wants to. No, I have one brother Man U. Well, 2 brothers Man U fans. One's a Liverpool fan. One's a Chelsea fan.
Damn.
Yeah.
How many brothers you got?
I'm Nigerian, so a lot.
That's
Me too. I got a lot of brothers. It's an African thing.
It's an African thing.
Yeah.
But
also, Man U Arsenal game. Bruno Fernandes cleats on the back, studs on the back of Jaka's leg. We didn't even talk about that.
That's because you missed that podcast. That was weeks ago.
I'm just saying.
That was.
It's all in my head. It's all in my head.
That was like a seven Arsenal losing streak ago. That's so long.
The moon landing. Why didn't you talk about that? What's up with that?
You see how the calls keep going, though. This is all I'm saying. It's not.
By the way, AJ, something just broke while we were shooting this podcast. You should go check on that. That's way more interesting than whatever the referees are doing.
Oh, what is it? Say it.
Well, a video has come out of William Saliba, who's Arsenal's player on loan at the French club Nice. And he's basically taking a selfie video in the dressing room while the guy next to him, his teammate, is naked masturbating. So
what the fuck?
All right, so we're just gonna end that on this note.
All right.
I'm just
saying, you guys are gonna see Saliba trending and wondering why.
And it's not gonna be because he scored or because the ref unjustifiably gave him a card because he's an Arsenal player on loan. And Martin, the glow coming from your computer makes it look like you're looking at the Saliba naked video.
Not at all. I'm just wondering what are the phone conversations Guardiola and Arteta are having those days. You know, like Guardiola probably calling Arteta, "Hey buddy, how are you?"
All right, what's the big game coming up?
We got Sevilla in 2 days in a semi-final Copa del Rey.
Nobody cares about that, dog.
You don't care.
What games are this weekend?
This weekend,
FA Cup.
FA Cup. All right, FA Cup.
That's midweek, maybe.
Nah, I think today's
Arsenal play Leeds in a mid-table. Arsenal Leeds mid-table clash.
Chelsea fans, all on ours. It's all on it. I mean, y'all need to think about y'all teams. Tottenham versus Everton is tomorrow. That's Chelsea. Barnley. Nobody cares about that.
No, I don't think that's tomorrow.
No, Tottenham Everton is
FA Cup.
No.
FA Cup.
I'm sorry, Man U West Ham is tomorrow. Then Tottenham Everton.
Man City play Tottenham on Saturday.
All right, cool. So everybody enjoy the FA Cup. Thank you, Aaron Brungardt, again for hooking this up and staying up. You know, you got a daughter, so you got to handle your business. And everybody like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Be safe. Love each other. And we out one.